Hey guys, what's going on? Today I will be trying to install a double din dash into a pre-facelift. So as far as I'm aware, this hasn't been done before. The idea behind it is I'm going to move these heater controls down here. I'm probably going to end up losing these two here, chopping up this one for a double din. So first things first, I've got to take apart the dash, which means I've got to take apart my center console. Because I've got the center console, I need to make sure that this is in here as a marker of height of where I can have this, because obviously I still want to use the AC buttons and the levers. So I need to drop this down to this height here. So the sides will get cut, but the bottom shouldn't need to, because I think this is a flat bottom. As the center console is in line with this. So now I need to unscrew the heater unit and pass it through the back and see if I can get it underneath. I'm probably gonna have to start chopping plastic immediately though. And with that out, I now should be able to fit this through and mount it to the front. I managed to get this one down the bottom. At the moment, this cable here controls where your airflow is going. So at the moment, this is not connected to anything. So I think what I'm going to do is save one of these fascias and pop the fascia down here, sculpt that into the bottom of this, just to make it look a bit more factory fitted. Moving it down here did come at a cost as well, as this bracket that normally sits in here had to go. Other things that had to go, the inside of the dash. At the moment, I have controls down here, nowhere to mount them to, no fascia to go on it, and no way of controlling the airflow. Excellent. And now we're actually getting somewhere. So, let me run you through what I've done. I've got another one of these, and I've hacked off the bottom. Then the original one, I hacked off just the center bit. So now I've got these surrounds down here, which makes it look very tidy. It's all misaligned, nothing is fixed. I have no idea how I'm gonna fix it. But for now, this is in. I now need to work out the size of the double din. With that cut, I have no doubt that the double din will fit. It's at a good height. There's really nowhere else to put it unless you wanted to build some crazy thing on the dash. So it's actually not a bad height for when you're driving. But I've picked up some 2-part heavy duty bog. This is actually, they rated it for fiberglass, metal, and even brick and concrete. So this should hold it. This isn't going to be the finishing product. I will be covering it in fiberglass. This is just so it can hold its shape so I can create all the mounts. Speaking of mounts, I've got my unit that I'm going to slide right in here. So that's going to sit pretty much there. It's got a surround that comes with it, which will sit on the outside just to tidy everything up. So I need to fill quite a big gap. If I can get my hand in here, it's got a big gap to fill. So I think I'm going to do that using the backing plate that I've got, or that I'm going to create. And I've dropped it. So that backing plate will extend up to about here, and then I can fill up to it and around from it. So that backing plate will be one part, and then this bottom bit will need to be done as well. I'm going to start with this bottom bit because until I get brackets for the stereo, it won't sit very well. So I've got to get the brackets to get that sitting, so then I can measure and how much I need to trim for my backing plate. So for now, I'm going to mix some of this up and get this bottom bit fixed in. Alrighty, that's all sealed around here. I'm going to let that set. It takes about 30 to 40 minutes, so I'm going to let that set. And if I have time, I'll come back and apply some on the inside later on. If not, I'm probably going to leave it like this for a short while. Remove it and pop back the original one and the original fascia, just so it doesn't look too tatters, as I am still driving this car. So I'm going to let this dry and then try and get the inside done. If not, we'll see what happens. But I'll keep you updated. Alrighty guys, so I was measuring out the distance from here to up where the blanking plate needs to be, and it worked out at 59 millimeters by however long this is, which I think I'll just put at 200 just to be safe. And I thought that number sounded very familiar. This here is single din. Din is, I believe, 5.4 centimeters or 54 millimeters in height. So I was thinking, if this is single din and this is double din, and double din plus 54 millimeters surely makes it triple din. And lo and behold, it fits almost perfectly. There's just over 5 millimeters to spare. So here's the new plan. Instead of doubled in converting it, I will be tripled in converting it. Now, usually I like to quit whilst I'm ahead, but on this one, I really don't see a reason not to go that extra step. Now, you don't really see triple din anywhere. The only place I've ever actually seen it is in my cube. But you see, the big thing is, I've just got rid of one of my storage holds because I've put the heater controls there. So I don't have anywhere besides the shelf to chuck a phone or chuck my glasses, chuck a couple of receipts or something. I just don't have that anymore. But with triple din, I'm not going to run an extra stereo, rather another pocket. So I'm going to gain that pocket back. But here's where it gets even better, because you don't need to just have a pocket, because you can get plenty of things that fit in a single din holder. You can get pull-out cup holders, CB radios or two-way radios. You can get a few single din accessories. So by making this triple din and fitting it all up now as triple din, I'm really future-proofing this. So why wouldn't I? And if you're crazy and you really want to, you can just run 3 of your own head units. I don't really care. It's a new day. A few things have happened. I've started molding this in with a bit of fiberglass filler. So this is all nice and sturdy now, all fixed. It doesn't look very pretty, but that's just because it's on there. It's not actually made to look pretty just yet. I will go over it and pretty it up. Most of this will be covered by the center console anyhow. I've got a bracket which holds these 3 in place, so nice and sturdy. Obviously I've got the head unit in and everything all trimmed to fit. Nothing's been prettied up just yet. Unfortunately, this one still not fixed, so that's what I'm going to do today. I've got this trim which is designed to go around here, but I really want to extend it down the sides as well. And with that, it should look pretty tidy. I think I might have to get another center console piece just because this one's a fraction too short. But first, I've got a whole bunch of wiring. I'm going to wire in the head unit. So I've managed to get the head unit all wired in. It's all working very nicely. What I need to do now is modify these mounts here to bring the hole, this hole, bring it up just a little bit so I can sit the pocket up a bit higher. Alrighty guys, so I have my trim which I've given the snip into 2 pieces, as I'm going to use these around here just to neaten everything up, and it actually saves me sculpting all of that to the shape I want, because this will cover it all. So this will just be affixed with some hot glue, and that will finish it off nicely, and then it will just need a trim down the bottom. So I've got my little microphone up here for the hands-free. This is the cable for the Apple Play, which just goes back there. So that's my Apple Play, so I can run my maps, run my Spotify and all of that on the screen. So lastly, I just need to tie in this bottom section. I've actually managed to hang this using cable ties onto the bottom mounts of the brackets that hold the radio in. So now that's in the air and it's kind of fixed. A quick little fix of hanging this up with cable ties is actually put it into the perfect spot. And I mean, I can use it now without it falling back on me. And I just had my AC regassed as well, so I'm rather happy. This one still doesn't work, still need to extend the cable. I've got the cable on standby, but as I said, at the moment it's on the feet and face, and that's all I need. And with the trim in place and everything fixed back down, the modification is done. A few things to note: if you want to do this yourself, you will need a bracket for the triple din. You will lose your directional control unless you can extend the cable. You also will need 2 of these, one to chop up and one to retain. Lastly, you do lose a bit of mounting points down here, and you do have to chop out quite a lot, so it's irreversible. You won't be able to put your normal setup back in securely. Oh yeah, so now I have a radio, I have Apple Play, maps, and I still retain all of my heater controls and a pocket while still getting it doubles in. Anyway, if you wanted to do it, you could use this as a guide. I'm gonna finish off building the bottom, and I'll post some photos on my Instagram, so to be sure to be following me down there. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time when I'm trying to hack something else up.